I'm Karina here on Thursday, February 22nd for Mobuzz TV, and YouTube's suffered a bit of a snub. We mentioned before that media giants Viacom, who own, for example, MTV, were looking into ways to get their content online via their own platform shortly after serving YouTube with 100,000 DMCA takedown notices for copyrighted material. Well, it looks like, not shockingly, they'll be doing a content distribution deal with the new P2P video sharing site Joost, still in beta testing phase. Joost, it seems, was more forthcoming in promising to protect their copyrights, and Viacom also liked the fact that it was a more secure distribution channel, as users themselves couldn't upload video. Looking to the law for a moment, we may no longer be able to count on the European Union for a generally more protective stance on privacy rights for internet and phone users. The governments of Germany and the Netherlands have decided that the current EU-wide data retention directive isn't strong enough. The legislation they propose would make it illegal to, for example, open an email account with false information or a pseudonym. Any aliases would have to be traceable to a person's real name. The catches are twofold. First of all, some say these provisions are outright violations of existing law, and second, they're virtually unenforceable. Seeing as how we're in the middle of this second tech boom and we've got startups coming out of our ears, someone had the idea to set up a website to give all these would-be startup stars, the tech entrepreneurs, some advice. So they created startupping.com with a blog for advice on all topics from startup vets, a discussion forum, wikis, and a blog aggregator. The first series of blog posts are entrepreneurs talking about their best and worst business decisions. As always, the worsts are more interesting. It's the element of schadenfreude. From risk aversion to being intimidated by investors, the answers give an interesting peek into this startup entrepreneur culture. Now let's go green for a moment with a look down under, as Australia is set to ban the use of incandescent light bulbs. For a while now, green advocates have insisted that simply giving up the incandescent bulb, which wastes a lot of energy producing heat, would be one big, simple energy-saving strategy. Australia is preparing legislation that would phase out their manufacturer over the next 3 years and phase in the slightly more expensive but much more efficient fluorescent bulbs. Green types are happy but insist they'd be happier if Australia would just sign the Kyoto Protocols already. But it's a start. So, another thing that helps with the greenhouse effect and fighting desertification and generally making life better is planting trees. Like they do at treenation.com, where they raise money to plant 8 million trees in the shape of a giant heart in Niger, one of the countries suffering worst from desertification. What's kind of nifty is that through their website you can pick exactly what type of tree you want and exactly where you want to put it in the heart. What's less reassuring is they don't seem to be as clear as to what their business model is. They appear to be for profit, but it's tough to tell how much of your donation goes to the trees and how much to their overhead, or how they ensure the tree's well-being in the long run. But the idea of a heart of trees so big you'll be able to see it on satellite photos is still neato. And finally, on a third green note for the day, here's a bit of footage of BMW's hydrogen concept car as Anil and Martine found it on display at the DLD conference in Munich.
So even though it's pretty cold outside here, within the car, within the tank of the car, it's much colder. We're storing liquefied hydrogen at minus 253 degrees in the car. Wow! So it's liquid. It's poured into the car in liquefied manner, and is stored in a, let's say, a super thermos inside the car, which has an inch of insulation. If we put hot coffee into that tank, it would stay warm for 3 to 6 months.
So I can get that and breathe?
Absolutely.
Fresh air.
Now it runs on hydrogen. Yeah. Now it runs. The engine has 2 injection systems, one for gasoline and the other one for hydrogen.
That's it for today. Until next time, go hug a tree or a fluorescent light bulb.